I feel this match will last at least 50 minutes. Oh, really? What's the giveaway? The fact that it's English versus Byzantines, or the fact that this guy's called Trench Warfare Enjoyer? I'm going to do a quick check, because I'm legit curious about this lad here. If I have a look at his data, because Trench Warfare is a top 100 player, folks. Welcome back to the typical Age of Empires 4 action. We have got 33 minutes, 38 minutes, 23 minutes, 47 minutes. There's a 4 and a 17 minute in there, but on average, I think this guy is like 30 minutes plus on his game length. Oh boy. However, Voldemar is something of okay, no, he's not. I was about to say something an all-inner. That's not happening. It's that build, that really innovative build that we've never seen before from the English. Are you guys happy? It's another Abbey of Kings 2 TC build. Grand Winery on the other side. So Voldemar is, I think he's been climbing quite a bit, right? A lot of Voldemar dubs coming in, you know? Some losses along the way. 56th in the world right now, so 1900 elo. Respectable. Voldemar, I think he was up to almost 20th at one stage. So back on the grind. I mean, this is the guy that usually does finish the season in like top 30, right? Season 6 was 29th. Season 5 was 16th. Season 4 was 47th. Season 3 was 55th. So like, you know, has been trending upwards. We haven't really seen the Voldemar unleashed upon the comp scene yet, though. I'm still hopeful, right? We've got King of the North to come, which he will be participating in. And then, of course, there is still the Red Bull World qualifiers to think about. But in this particular matchup, I feel like Byzantines are just heavily favored, no? Right? Unless you all in feudal. Because if it goes castle, Varangian are kind of crazy. Literally and figuratively. Byzantines versus English. I'm wondering if we just look at conk stats. Not always the most representative, but... Oh, wow. No, Byzantines have a hard time. Wow, I miscalled that. 40% win rate for the Byzantines. But is that because English players are all-inning? I guess you can just rush castle, though, with White Tower. I'm thinking old school terms, before White Tower got buffed. But now, with the White Tower build, guys, like, the logic is you can just spam Knights and overwhelm Varangian. Because, like, when you're playing Byzantines, the last thing you want to do is build Limitane, even more so against English. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, this is one of the things I think people find quite vexing about English, is for many matchups, Spearman defense doesn't become an option anymore. And with this Civ rushing castle into Mass Knights, just feels like it puts you at a huge disadvantage. Thank you very much. I do enjoy doing some good old hosting. Really need to get some more esports gigs lined up, actually. We're not quite sure who Trench Warfare Enjoyer is, by the way. We were checking up on them, and they're from Taiwan. Nah, it could be that they've just used a certain VPN service. Or they could actually be one of the Taiwanese players. But I feel like we lost a lot of them. The most notable one to me for a long time was Demon Sheep. But Demon Sheep stopped playing, I want to say, over a year ago, man. I miss that guy. He had some really funky strategies. I remember the early days in particular. He was a monster on the Rus. Second TC drop. And wait, what? Now, you're questioning it, but hear me out. The TC drop on the berries protects him from a back rotation, so there's no Frick 60 arc around his base. It also secures the woodline. He could have done gold, but this suggests that Voldemar isn't fast castling. This suggests that he's going in a feudal. Which we did highlight is how Voldy usually likes to play the English a lot of the time. So, curious to see if that's the plan. I mean, he could still technically go gold, just walling the backside. The risk there is if your opponent does go jabs or lombos, he can deny your gold access, right? So, makes a lot more sense that he's going to try to play aggro party. And oh, damn. It's not Byzantines versus English, folks. It's France versus English. That's so cool. Yeah, we were just saying at the start of the stream that I want to see more players utilizing the neutral trade post. I think it's really, really strong. So this has got a little bit of a smile on my face. Because the thing about the neutral trade post is some of the options completely dismantle certain matchups. Like, one of the big ones for me is I actually think Sipahi is being slept on. Especially like we saw how Anistan was able to navigate the Ayyubid Byzantine matchup using Sipahi to dominate. And I think it's similar with these other matchups. Like Sipahi here against English, really, really good. Knights also works nicely. Especially considering your opponent's probably going to hunker down and not defend himself, right? Because, what? Keshiks, even if it's Keshiks, they aren't that substantial when it comes to the like the defensibility, right? Like they're more of a has to attack to feel good unit. But knights like this, enough damage to 2-hit unit, and on top of that, they have additional health. This is cool. It's also a nice way of dealing with the king. Like, theoretically, the king can win by microing you. I think you're just pulling away, stab, stab, stab. But the amount of time it takes, right? Like, you're not going to trade very well initially. You do 16 damage compared to these knights that will hit for, I think it's 23 damage after they charge. Okay, there you go, 22. Because remember, they get bonus damage for 5 seconds. In other words, they get bonus damage for 3 extra attacks. Archer's being prepped behind this. This is basically France. Goddamn Faye and her horse archers. Faye, remind me how well the horse archers worked out up against Faplop. King actually hanging around is kind of a mistake there. Voldemort needs to be careful because he's taking a lot of damage. He has at least scouted out the archers, but that's bad news for him, right? He took the bait. He went spears. I really like this build from Red. They do need to do something soon, though, right? The reality is this is 2cc English, and it ends one way. And oh, what? Voldemort with the miss micro there. Hung around with the king. That shouldn't be happening. That was too much health for a charge to insta-kill. And remember, the king moves quicker than the knight, so you should be able to just run away. Damn, what a pick. That's huge. So Voldemort has to waste 200 resources replacing that. Meanwhile, Cairo Siphon time. Oh, this is cool. So I did say they have longer games, but apparently, you know, they're just holding their hands up and saying, it's not my fault, bro. I try to end fast. It's just these other people on the other side won't let it be. Damn, this is a really unique build. I got some of my high-level players in chat. We taking notes here? Faye won't be convinced off of the horse archers. That's obvious. But maybe some other people. So you can't go 2TC behind this as Byzantines, right? Like that's just a big negative. You need to kind of commit. Yeah, we've got more knights coming, more archers being queued. And the Cairo Siphon should get built soon. Because like the issue now is if you go 2TC on a delay, you're just behind. And your opponent will then go castle. And then his production will ramp. So this is very much an all-in feudal kill point for Red. If not a feudal kill point, a heavy amount of damage needs to be done here in Feudal Age. He's on the clock though, remember. The longer he waits, the bigger that English economy leader is going to get. Go to trade mercs. You want some Musafadi? And camel archers. Oh, that's kind of cool. Campfire to see the reinforcements. Little bit of a miss micro here. Like the archer's just getting cut down like that. Not ideal. But notice he's not reinforcing because he's got his go time here, right? He needs to hit the back of the base. We know that Voldemort isn't teching up, by the way. He's never been rushing for the gold. It kind of feels like Red is posturing as if he's worried about white tower play. So I've got a bad feeling he's not expecting Voldemort to fully commit to the feudal like this. Could prove to be bad news. Villager. Oh, Voldemort, no. Honey, no. Right idea, wrong time. Bad news as well because he was looking for the gold. So I think Voldemort was getting ready to try and trend towards Castle Age here. King in the meantime, he gets taken out. Oh, the second group of knights. Voldemort, that's 2 kings down, man. Woo. Go through kings quicker than the king himself goes through wives. This is ridiculous. Voldemort, by the way, where are the... Oh, no. You know what I'm going to say, guys. I feel like it's my favorite thing to highlight when we do a Voldemort cast. Where are the blacksmiths? He never went gold before to get blacksmith tax. He can't get it now. Dude, he's in so much trouble here. You know, the attack speed, a lot of it gets offset here. Because remember, like, the archers, they're basically getting a 20% increase in damage. Right? And they're decreasing yours. Like I said, 2 damage difference, right? So that's like 33% damage difference. The attack speed aura doesn't make up for that. Damn. This is going to be brutal. Cairo Siphon's now moving in. Archers attempted. Knights are looking. Spearman held very far in reserve here. Nice bait there. Forced them out of position. Archers are going to start moving in now. Carry Siphon through one of the buildings. Archers will get a few free picks on the spears. He could even think about clown carring here, but Red is just committing it. A little bit of a slowdown, though. Oh, the miss micro here. Yeah, so I think what happened there is he targeted one of the units with Select All Army, and then it died, right? So they stopped moving. Still, that is going to be double archery range going down by the looks of it. Villager just trying to keep it alive. House has now been targeted. Smart choice, right? Voldemar positioned a lot of this on the left side, so it's going to have to make up for it behind. And of course, the burn through. Yes, folks, that is a thing. Double house looking like it's probably going to be going down here. Right now with the reset. Even Bloomery getting added in is kind of surprising. I haven't got that many knights to work with, right? And yeah, spikes only ever works if you are just camping and not moving. And the problem is, like, in these type of fights, you're usually going to have to move a bit. So it overall is very difficult to justify. Keep in mind, he doesn't want to take a direct fight on the edge of his base because he doesn't have blacksmiths, right? So the attack speed issue is one thing, but no blacksmiths as well, like, it makes it impossible. The other thing is, like, players discovered a long time ago that if you move your units in attack, the starter stepping can actually lead to more attacks over time because there's, like, there's frame skipping that's feasible. So if you stick your longbows still and fire off with the palings, you are potentially missing out on, like, 1 or 2 extra attacks per minute. Byzantine economy, man. I'm just looking at this number right now. He's up to 40 archers and he's trending castle. If he rushes castle now and gets veterancy, he can just dive. Voldemar has nothing to really defend against that. King. Baits himself to go after the Cairo Siphon. Trade out begins. Archers just sticking on top of the longbows here. Villagers also getting sniped down. Wall's going to break. Red not willing to dive as he shouldn't. Limitane is an interesting choice by Red. I'm not really sure what the thought process is there. It's almost like he's worried that Voldemar's going to go castle, but like with what economy, right? He has to put everything into the bodies. Yeah, I don't know if that was a misclick or what. I feel like that was a misclick. There's genuinely no reason to build Limitane here. And considering he teched it and cancelled it, I think he just thumbed it. Oops. How does Voldy get out of this now? He needs to force a fight the moment the tech up comes out. The issue is going to be Longbow's movement speed. Longbows will at least take out the scouts. That might make Red think twice about a dive. He doesn't really need to dive in a rush here. I'm surprised by this. Red, this is silly. Like, Red's just throwing away the lead. He's teching, but look at the archer cost here. This is a bad fight. What the hell? Red, a very dominant position, but a completely unnecessary dive there while they're teching. I can't believe that. Golden Horn Town now on the way, but considering what the Archer League could have been with an upgrade coming through, questionable. I know that he wants to deny the gold away from Voldemar, but the cost is always going to be too high there. Because remember, he's not putting everything into feudal, he's putting a giant chunk of his economy into Castle Age. Now Voldemar gets away with it all. It's free what? This might be one of very few games where King's Palace isn't a throw. After 2 TC. Like, after what Trench Warfare just done there, Voldemar is so far ahead, he can get away with this. That's wild. I just don't understand the thought process there from Red. Problematic scenario. Now also he's chosen to go to Longbow, so we are going to see them starting to get scaled in. Goodness gracious. Tech complete for Voldemar. Queues up the veterancy straight away, so 55 seconds to go on that. No Archer upgrade for Red, by the way. He did get the blacksmith text, but he's actually just spamming into Varangian now. I mean, that's perfect for Voldemar, right? Like, men-at-arms is always the natural adjustment. If you can hold a choke point, they should win out against the Vikings. Oh, wow, backstab. Red. Cut off, trying to actually flank resources here. So Archemass is going to be wiped. I don't think he even realized. Oh, my God. That's a huge lead. There's a breakthrough attempt on the right side. Villagers are going to go for the repairs before it can happen. Looks like they are going to get clapped down through the wall by the Knights. But, guys, things are looking really bad here for Red. His Vikings aren't even coming, by the way. They're just chilling at home. So he's massing Varangian. That gives time. Voldemar already has the counter. Men-at-arms and crossbows on the way. I think this game is over. Red doesn't quite realize it yet, but I think he's misplayed this. He can only play for relics, so that might inflate his eco a bit, but it's now 3 TC versus 1, and he's not really punishing. Okay, sorry, versus 2. He did actually catch up there, but he's not really punishing his opponent for this. Instead, Voldemar's the one who's going to give the spanking. Armorclad now on the way. King, please get out of formation with the men-at-arms. Oh my god, dude. He doesn't kill the MAA, so the king hangs around. Oh, that was brilliant. Voldy is queuing up more spears. I mean, you just leave spears at home, right, and send the rest to attack. Two DC early as Biz? You can. If the English would like playing chill campy, it's not the worst of ideas. All you need to do is read they're doing that, and then you kind of go for TC3. There is a really cool build for the Byzantines where you gather the initial trees, and then you drop a TC on the tree line. That would be the way to do that, because anything else, the king will intercept. Varangian revealed. Unfortunately, not quick enough here. Looks like there will be a yoinking, though. Trench Warfare able to secure one of those mid-map relics for himself. I'm sorry, what? Please tell me that's... Yep. Faye was about to jump out of her seat. Faye, chill. Golden Horn Tower's only building horse archers for one reason. Could Landsnectar turn this around? I think Landsnectar are kind of underrated here. You've bet your opponent go mass spears. If you switch Lance now, like 4 or 5 of those could do it. It's just always a bit dicey, because I feel like whenever you try to add in Landsnectar, you either need a lot or you need to force Chaos Factor. Because if you don't, then the Longbows can snipe you down. What was that prediction about an hour-long game? I'm seeing walls go up like this, and I've got a bad feeling. And yes, the Golden Tower can build horse archers. Remember, once you attach a neutral trade post, the Golden Horn Tower can access those options as well. So sometimes Golden Horn Tower, like, you know, sometimes to go neutral trade post can be seen as a disadvantage. If you don't want to be on those units anymore, you basically want to delete the camp. The Knights is something he wants more of, is why he's actually left it in red. Oh, won't quite find the villagers in time there. That could have been quite nice, especially considering they're vetted up Knights and there's no textiles coming up from Voldemar. Instead, though, that eco lead continues to inflate. Now 40 villagers ahead. I think Voldemar's just going to hunker down and go in. So the onus is now on red to end the game. I don't like red's chances that this goes into Imp because of how far behind they are. And also the absurdity of the attack speed, right? Like, if you at least go for the foreign engineering company, you can get the volley, but the problem is the attack speed aura. What? Damn. Purge the spearman, huh? Immediately just queues up more Lombos. Goodness gracious. Voldemar, he's gunning for it. You can see it. So is the Byzantines. What's the comp in Imp here? Probably Varangian Lombos, right? And then Men-at-Arms Lombos on the other side. If Voldemar just plays Aura Creep, he has an easy win, right? Like, I think the problem now for the Byzantines is you want to flood and spread. I think if you have to turn this into a condensed fight around the Aura, I'd heavily favor the English. Especially when he makes this choice. My boy knows how to win. It's in the name, it's how you do it in the game. Wingard Palace now on the way. This worries me as well. Footmen, very tanky compared to Men-at-Arms. So they can actually take quite a beating from mass Lombos. On top of that, there's a flood point here, right? Like, if you look at the map, you can see Red hasn't really walled himself in substantially. He's quite exposed. And Wingard Raiders is a potent tool. I don't expect it in this game, per se, just because we're already at pop cap. But even just Wingard Rangers, actually. Like, Wingard Rangers in this matchup are busted. Because Red just has a worse option now. Right? He was already worse off because of Network of Citadels. This puts him even further behind. Damn. Question mark is that the way that Voldemar wants to pump this? I can see it. Ball's now going up, so it looks like Red is trying to slow the game down. He needs more time to inflate eco. He's so far behind at this stage when it comes to raw pump power. What? I was not expecting that. This is a very interesting game for Wingard armies. There's really nothing to justify it right now. I guess it saves on building rams to break through the inevitable walls, but there's at least a keep drop over here, so that makes a bit more sense of it. I just feel like Rangers is the MVP, right? Those don't know because we very rarely see them. Wingard Rangers will give you Lombos that have better stats and 2 extra tile range. So you get a 9 tile range Lombo. It's very powerful. But no bueno. I also am not sure how I feel about this. Voldemar going into hand cannoneer seems like a good idea in theory, but if your opponent has mass Lombos, he can snipe you, right? It's only +2 range? Yeah. So better stats. Oh, you thought I meant the whole embodiment. Yeah, it's +2 range, which is a better stat. On top of that, you do technically end up with elite Lombos already by going Wingard Rangers, the other nice thing. That's another thing I really like about Wingard for the timing attacks, is you are basically getting elite status units for 2 of the 4 options. Berserker Boy's in. Lombo's now arriving though, so you kind of feel bad about actually activating with the R. Just a breakthrough at least towards the gold here, so Voldemar's going to feel a little bit of pressure, but nothing he should be able to repel in the area. Lombo mass though. And yes, they can do volley, because when you build foreign engineering companies, the Byzantines, you get access to unique perks. One of them being volley. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the hand cannoneer choice by Voldy. I mean, I guess the thought process is hand cannoneer plus men-at-arms, right? Because you melt the Varangian and then the men-at-arms just kill the Lombos. So maybe it's okay. In fairness, he does have a lot of hand cannoneers. If they were equal economy, I don't think this works. But with this type of lead, I think he has a quick enough burst through. The only issue is, if you have to slow down to set up Outpost Aura, do you have the timing? Well, he already has the Outpost Aura, so I guess we answer that question quite freely. Already now marching forward. We have got some emplacements coming in. Some Mangonel towers are starting to appear. A quick wall up over here. Villagers are just going to scramble that a bit. Voldemar, smart choice. You can't rush out here. You have to creep the Outpost Aura or this doesn't work at all. One difficulty you'll find with creeping the outpost aura is now, with it being foreign engineering company, there is the potential to get your hands on Hui Paos or Royal Cannons. Alright, what do you think, guys? Ones, if you believe Voldy's got this. Twos, if you back Trench Warfare Enjoyer. Because he is an enjoyer of Trench Warfare, and we are admittedly at that stage. EAT also on the way. Well, they're actually similarly matched, but what? Voldemort, dude, the upcoming qualifiers for Red Bull Wallow 2024, not 2022. What is this build? English Trebuchets shattering projectiles. That is something we have not seen for a long time. I mean, in theory, it's a way of dealing with the Lombo mass, right? You just have to trench warfare the fights. Like Red enjoys, apparently. He does need to start losing units, though. In some ways, this is good for him, because right now, he's not pumping Windguard armies due to pop lock. Remember, you need several slots to get an army out. There you go. First one just came through. Flash in the center. Looks like the longbow army is going to get pushed back. Crossbow starting to get wiped out. Voldemort, if you get this stage, you just need to get the hand cannoneers out. Everything else is kind of disposable. Hand cannoneers are pricey, though. Hui Paos will snipe the Treb. Ah, yes. I look forward to Hui Paos 150 damage on like a 300 health unit. Definitely will be the quickest kill of the game. We've actually got Robotiquins. Oh, no. It's possibly the worst comp to build this against. You're baited because you're up against the Varangian, right? But the problem here is you're building it up against Lombos. Lombos will just disintegrate Robotiquins. I hope that's a misclick and not a big investment down the line for Voldy. Damn, we really are hunkering down in this one. Trade even now getting set up by the English. Nothing similar coming out of the Byzantines is a little bit... Oh, wait, no, there we go. It is underway. I was about to say, I would expect Byzantines to trade before English because they get extra value out of it, right? You don't just get the gold, you also get olive oil. What are we missing here? Because I'm pretty sure... Okay, Elite Army Tactics is in. Blacksmiths are mostly maxed out for both players. I'm struggling to see like Voldy's comp getting to where it's meant to be. And what I mean by that is like the Treb count. The strategy here is you crawl up to like 7 or 8 Trebs, right? He's at 1. I feel like what Voldemort needs to do is get through on the flanks. This is a classic hit the economy first. Because what is happening here instead is just both sides are bulking up a ridiculous reserve, right? Like, I think if you tog out the golds, then Trench Warfare doesn't have a way of playing Varangian at all. And then it's kind of GG, right? Because Men-at-Arms will just wipe out everything. Varangian moving in. Voldemort is reacting, but it's going to be quick enough. Berserk does make them insanely fast. Good reaction straight away. Voldemort pulls it back. So not too much damage being done here, right? I mean, I say that. Oh my god, what is happening to the worker kills? Is he losing something elsewhere? He's 100% losing things everywhere here. 71 worker kills now in this game. Voldemort, he needs stone walls ASAP. I think there was a deletion there. I swear I heard a delete wall, a delete of either a wall or villages. I mean, Voldemort at this stage, losing some economy isn't a bad thing because you have got reserves, right? The military numbers is really what you need. And I just saw Volley researched for a guy who has single, like no longbows whatsoever. So kind of a curious choice there. By the way, funny thing about these two's economy is I would say Byzantines have the edge when you go down to like 80 eco and you're all on farms, right? Like the English do generate gold and they have a great gathering rate with that extra 30%. But the Byzantines will buff themselves by 26%, which basically offsets the mill effect. And then olive oil on top eclipses what you get in gold. The only limitation is, of course, you can't build gold units with that. You can, however, build gold tier units in terms of mercs. Big ambitious choice here. Yellow army getting big though. Voldemar now. 58 men at arms, 23 on the hand cannoneer. And wait, where's Red's army? What? Did he delete the Lombos? No. When did they... What happened? Am I blind? I feel like we haven't had a definitive fight that would lose that many Lombos that quickly. Something's gone wrong here. I think Red, without Lombos, he has no answer here. I mean, he's prepping chemistry, so maybe he was deleting in prep for the Streltsy, but this feels way too slow. Way too expensive. Remember, those Streltsy are not cheap. I can't believe this, man. Red's going to have some problems. Yellow now with a dive. Hits onto the villagers. First wave in, second wave coming. Nest of Bees is not going to be as solid a stellar defense here, as the men-at-arms are basically given free access to the base. And Cannoneers haven't arrived just yet. Varangian are going to stand their ground up against the MAA, but there's a lot of them and a lot more coming. 80 men-at-arms in queue for Voldemar. This is the power of the English economy. God damn. Especially when you had that eco lead for so long. And things have slowed down behind this, right? The second wave is going to bulk up. More hand cannoneers being added in. We're now up to 32 gunner boys. Trench Warfare done a good job of dodging death for the most. I think he lost about 8 workers there in total. But what I don't like is the fact that they're stuck in their base now. They have still got small groups of Varangian raiding in, so maybe that could turn the tides. The biggest worry for them right now is how they survive the onslaught. Luckily for Voldemar, it turns out Vikings just really hate farms. Like, these aren't olive oils. What the hell? I don't know, man. This game's getting a little bit messy from both players, right? It's kind of wild. You'd think more stone walls, but the Kyro Siphon flankings have been kind of annoying, actually, for Voldemar to address. He's starting to give his own annoyance, though. The issue right now for Voldy is every time he gets ready to dive the enemy base, he has to react to these small flank raids. So he's pulling off, like, 10 units here or there to hunt that down, right? And that means he doesn't have the push power behind him anymore. That's Varangian the hand cannon is kind of nutty, though. Not really something I had on the bingo cards. It's kind of intriguing, right? Because you think, actually, like, Varangian would be really bad against hand cannons. They're not great. But in some ways, they have value. And what I mean by that is when you berserk and you lose all that armor. If you think about it, from a percentile point, the damage reduct is low on hand cannons anyway for that armor. So removing it to gap close, like you could argue the gap close means the hand cannons attack 1 time less before you gap close, which offsets taking the extra damage. Voldemor's taking a lot of eco damage right now, though. This is kind of textbook Byzantines on Rocky River, right? I can't believe he's been allowed these raids for so long. It's getting slippery and slipperier. Voldemar, he might get a bit overly desperate here, right? Like at this stage, when you're seeing you're losing eco like this, you reach a point where you just have to go. Goes in for the bash. Hand cannoneers are having a freebie here. Trebuchets are slowly sieging in. I think actually Voldemar needs a cannon. Oh no. Guys, I think this is going to be a Byzantine win. It's crazy as well, right? Because Voldemar was in such a dominant position once upon a time, but it's slipping away. The more that the attention gets drawn to these flanks, the worse it gets for the English here. And remember, guys, this is despite the fact that Voldemar has 34 hand cannoneers as the backbone every time. It just never feels like it's enough. Oh my god, dude, they're still dying. Everything is just going down. Even the trader's getting intercepted now. Voldemar, he's going to have to send everything. This is an all-in or dead anyway. Trebuchets now moving into the keep. Without a front line to protect, they're not going to last very long here. Berserk gets activated by Red. And look at how quickly he shreds through. Men-at-Arms have to retreat away. Handcan is at least going to try to reset this. We already mentioned that it's not really going to change their kill power against Berserking Vrangins. It's always going to be quick. So the gap close, the extra attack speed, and oh, the nest of bees. I think Voldemar's cooked. He does at least have the aura, right? In theory, this thing has done god tier work before. Network of Citadels is, I'd say, the most powerful tool in the arsenal. But if I'm not mistaken, with Voldemar not building a single keep this game, he doesn't actually have Network of Citadels. Okay, dude, that explains everything. I'm so used to seeing Network of Citadels in a game like this due to White Tower, but that lack of an extra 20% buff is making it so hard for him to dive in on these fights. So much easier for Red to defend. Numbers are at least getting small, though. Berserk comes in. Front line getting disintegrated on both sides here. Reboldequin trying to do the work, trying to put the party in. Gonna do enough. Ranking count now down to 16. Voldemar, his eco might be small, but with the numbers, the queue up, keeping him going for so long here, he still has 60 men-at-arms. What am I witnessing? That 80 men-at-arms pump in reserve may have been the thing that saved Voldemar here, despite the raids. 40 eco lead right now. Castle about to drop, and then the floodgates surely should open. And it's down. Voldemar. This boy's cooking. He's still pop caps. 120 military and pumping. Dude, this is crazy. 1k food, but it doesn't matter. Remember, guys, you have to be losing troops for you to really care. And right now, Trench Warfare doesn't have the military force to force that type of exchange. This is absolutely wild. Hand cannoneers at the back line have still just been protected for the most, right? 22 of them are pushing in. And Red, I think he's dead. This is it. Treb count, 3 on the front side, 3 more in the way. A dive into the economy, and a sweet farewell to the Byzantine prince. Whew. I mean, this was definitely not the easiest way to go about this, right? The walls always getting breached, the no network of citadels, the loss of villages on the side, but the conviction out of Voldemar, man. The understanding, once he'd queued up 80, 90 men-at-arms, he understood that he had a runway here. A runway that could allow him to lose eco, that would allow him to build more military, that would also mean that Red had less military defending. That type of read is really what you need to close these type of games, because otherwise we could have been looking at a 2-hour trench warfare game. Instead, we now have an opportunity for the kid to close out quick. Red has found the resources to dig deep and build 30 more Vrangin. However, the nest of bees are the bigger detail here. Nest of bees in Mangonel, trying to snipe out the hand cannoneers. Voldemar, no. Are you kidding me? This game is so messy. The hand cannoneers just went down. Voldy down to just 12 of them. He comes in with a raid. But what he needs to be coming in with is more hand cannoneers here. I can't believe this, man. I can't. Eco now even again. Military lead remains with Voldemar. Surely this has to be it. I've said that about 3 times now. But it feels like Voldemar's got him on the edge. He just can't push him over. Maybe now with the Grand Winery area denied, this could be the moment. There's still a lot of farms in the corner for Trench Warfare as well. Treb count is up to 6 though. A landmark goes down. Voldemar, I don't know what the hell this Mangonel is doing. Oh, okay, so you finally realized Wingard Rangers might be good this game. It took 41 minutes in, but we're finally getting the unit that I think actually would have won him at the beginning of Imperial Age. Oh, Vikings. Oh my god. Damage. Trebs hanging around. 40. Siege reset, all gone. He's got 3 more Trebs behind this, but a heavy loss. I can't believe. How is Red still in this game? It's a double up on military. He can't be in much longer. It's not about the food anymore, guys. It's about the olive oil. He does not have mercenary depth. Nest of bees, only one. No military bio units whatsoever. It has been a scrappy affair. It has been an ugly affair. But it is one that has been made a bit too public here. Voldemar's raids have hit hard. Trench warfare now down to 62 economy. Voldemar doubling him at 124. Oh my god, he finds the farms out on the east side as well. I think we've got the victor here. I promise that the fourth time of saying that should be the final one. I mean, in fairness, is this not how you want your games? It's boring when you say it's GG and then 5 minutes later you see the GG. This was a scrappy back and forth for Voldemar. Stayed the course, and now with his economy this strong, I think the only thing really missing is full production. Tamrid, Boulder Coins as well. This is the MVP, by the way. Against just Varangian, this is how you annihilate him, right? I mean, they're a bit dangerous when they're berserk, but the damage that these Republicans put out, range damage at that, is enough to just kill everything. What a cool game. I am worried, though. The fact that Byzantines were even able to hold on that long with how shaky that game looks shows you how insane this Civ is. But props to Voldemar, pulls it off in the late game and gets the English dub.